Once again, another huge thank you to watcho.co.uk for another fine shopping experience for my Fenix 6 Pro. I've already done an unboxing of the Fenix 6 Pro and I compared that next to the Fenix 5X Plus and the Instinct, and also had a little special guest of the Rangeman, the GPR-B1000. The instructions that come with the Fenix 6 Pro are pretty okay, but the thing is, it is a little bit overwhelming and very basic indeed, and it is confusing because it does have a huge learning curve. Now for the 5X Plus and the Instinct, I rewrote the instructions to give you a better experience. Now I've done it for the 6. In the description I have all the timestamps so you can skip all the boring parts and go to exactly what you need to find out. I've also included some other links that I will talk about throughout this video, so just pop down there and see what you need and take from what you want. So let's just kick off with this full tutorial. So if you go in the description below, you will find a PDF link to the instructions that I've written. Now this is entirely up to you, but this is a free download. But if you feel like you want to sort of give me something just to say thank you and support the channel, I'm going to leave this entirely up to you. Just don't feel guilty about it. This is your choice. I like doing this kind of videos, and hopefully this really does make everything really easy. Like it says, it is the beginner's starter guide out of the box. The PDF will work like it is on my iPad or your tablet, PC or laptop. So as long as you have a PDF reader, you should be able to view it on most things. So let me just quickly go through what I've got on the index page. First off, I want to kick off with the watch buttons, very useful. I also want to cover what is needed if you want to sync it with your tablet, or if you want to do this via your PC or laptop. I'm also going to go through some of the menus, the settings, the system. I'm also going to cover these two here, widget and control, very useful indeed. A little bit of a navigation. I'm also going to show you how to customize categories using TrackMe as an example, and just a very simple tutorial on how to do that. I'm also going to show you some other little features along the way. Also going to cover some useful adjustments to know out of the box, and these are things that I think you probably might need to know, and to find them out it isn't always easy. And also I came across some other little things that I thought, this isn't quite going how I want it. I'm sure it has a different way, and I have found this, so it is all there. Also going to cover a little option here with screenshots. Yes, the Fenix 6 Pro can take screenshots. Well, basically like the 5X Plus I had as well. And I've used these pictures in the instructions, so I thought I would include that and show you how to use it, because it's a little bit different on a Mac. Anyway, let's kick off with the watch buttons. First off, we need to power it on. So it's a long press on the light button, and you'll have this blue triangle, and then you just wait for a few moments, and then you'll have some information coming up introducing that it's a Garmin, and it will start loading up the maps. And yes, the maps are all pre-installed. Now I'm trying to explain this the most easy way possible. Now if you have never used the Fenix before, then I would recommend to go straight here to menu number 4 and download the Garmin Connect. I've also got the link that if you want to use it on your PC or laptop is also there. And also you'll need a couple of other little things as well called the Garmin Express, and this is for both the Mac and the Windows 10 or whatever Windows you're using. And I've put the link there so you can go directly so. And also there's a little bit of information there just from their website just to explain what the two do so that you can connect to your laptop or your PC if you choose. I'm more for using it on the app and having it on my device, whether it's on my Android device or whether it's on my iPhone or iPad. I just seem to find it a little bit easier, but I would download it on all of it because it's all free anyway. So I'd get that set up, and if you watched my first unboxing video, which is the link is in the description, you'll see that I quickly cover this and show you how to quickly sort of get that so it's connected with your Fenix. So from there, I'm going to go back up and just to explain that here I've shown you how to power it on, and I've also have it showing you how to power it off as well. I thought that was very useful. And here is another good feature, that returning to home screen at any time quickly. Now this is a long press on the back button, but this only works if you keep it in the original factory setting, because it does use a hotkey which takes you back to the home screen, or it takes you back to watch faces. But I will come back to this as well and making it all very easy to understand. So now you know how to power it on. You've got the app downloaded. You've now got the watch completely connected. And then we can go to the second part. So the next part on my instructions is menu number 6, and this is the menu. Now this is broken down to 4 parts with the watch faces, clocks, history and settings, and I've done it all with the layout like this. And just to show you that this is screenshots that I've taken and put into this instruction to really show you what it looks like. So what I'm going to say is that you just follow the instructions, and I'm now going to go to the watch and show you what all this looks like, because this is all already in my memory. Okay, before I go any further, just want to show you that this is a customized watch face that I've added. And yes, it's of the logo of Watch Up 69. And I will show you quickly how to do this later in this tutorial. So from the home screen, which I have it on now, long press on up, center button takes you to the menu. And at the very top, it's showing you the battery status. Now on yours, because it's probably factory reset, you might not have the percentage. So just let you know that you can add this percentage in. We will go through this, and maybe I will cover it. Maybe you just find it in the instructions. I'm not sure. I don't want to make this video too long. Anyway, first up, we have watch faces. So by pressing the select button here, this is all in the instructions. Here I have my home screen time, and I noticed that they did have a little bar here. So when I push either up or down, so if I push up, you see that it has this little bar, and it has a little icon there, notice, and then it moves as I'm pushing up, going through all the different screens. And yes, you have quite a few to select from. Now this is all what's in the watch already, so you can always add and customize this. Now if I like the look of this screen, if you press select, I now can just apply this. I also have the option to customize it, and if I wanted to, I can delete it. Now all this is going to do is take it off the watch. It's not going to delete it, and this will be saved on your connecting device, whether you choose it to be an iPad or smartphone, and then you can add it back on. So just quickly go through the customize setting. So here I can choose the layout. I can also choose whether I want seconds showing, and there's the data. I can change the colors, and then when you're complete you just press done, and then it makes it your home screen. So if I went to the data here, first is the top here where I've got Fenix, it's flashing, and here I can use the up and down and change it to what you require. Now this is something you need to play around with and get it set up just how you want it. So by pressing select, we'll go on to the next one. So here you can change this, use it up and down, then you go on to the next one, and then on the final one I've got the bottom there set as the barometer. By pressing again takes you back here, so you can just customize it as your heart's content, and once you're finished you just press select on done, and then the time is adjusted, and that is your new home screen. So what I'm going to do is just quickly go back into the watch face, and what I'm going to do is have it where I've got my logo. So every time you see my logo, you know I am in home screen. So by pressing that, I have apply. Now because this is a customized screen, I don't actually get any options to customize while in the watch. This can only be done on the app, and this is through Garmin Connect, which I will cover, and maybe I cover it quickly now. So what you need to do is open Garmin Connect, and here at the top here, just to show you, when this is a little green dot and this is blue, normally it's white, this will mean that it's actually connected. So if I tap on this, it will give me my device. It is showing it's connected, and I need to scroll down to appearance. Let's just open this up. There is watch faces, open this, and here I have a little bit of information. I'm just going to explain this. Now it says installed and not installed. This is the app that has my Watch Up 69 logo, and these are watch faces that I've sort of experimented with. I wasn't too impressed with them, so for now I've taken them off the watch, and here it just sits in the app. Now if you want to completely delete these off the app, you need to go on your laptop and your PC and actually have these removed. Now if you want to add some more watch faces, here you have get more watch faces. So when I press this, it's going to do something a little bit different. It's going to come up with this screen called Connect IQ. Now this is another app, and you will need to download this, and if you haven't done it already, it will come up automatically and show you how to download it all. It is all very simple, and most importantly it is free, and here you can download quite a few different features. Now up the top here it has these three little lines. You push that and you have a little drop down menu, so you can see what you can choose. So you can have face it. Now I'm just going to come back to that. Watch faces, device apps, data apps, widgets, music, and you can manage your device. So if I just press face it, this is my little logo, as you've seen. And what I've done, I've just taken a picture and it's in my gallery, and I've just exported it into here. I also did a fun one for Halloween as well. There you go. So, and then you can just send that to the device when you're ready. You can also just sort of position it as well. So if I went to up the top here, press that, I can just edit it, and here I can now move the sort of logo around a bit and get it just how you want it. I wanted it to be sort of center like so, and then you get some other little options. You can just change it if you wanted it digital format like so. So yeah, you do get a few little adjustments which I do like. So once you're finished, you just press done, and then it's ready to send to the watch, and I already have this in the watch. Anyway, I thought that was quite cool, and now you know how to do it. So from watch faces going down, we have a feature called clocks. Now this is new to the Fenix 6 range. This wasn't featured on the previous Fenixes. So if I press this on select, I now can see all the clocks. So I have alarms, I have timers, I have stopwatch, and I have world time, and then it just cycles through. It can also go back like so. Just going to give you an example of how to sort of set an alarm, and also show you some other little features as well. And this does get repeated a little bit later on in the video, but I thought I'd just quickly do this one here with set alarm, and then you'll sort of get an idea of how this is sort of adjusted. So pressing select, it goes straight to this sort of screen here, and this is to adjust your hours. You can just skip and go to the minutes, and then you can press again, and then it's ready to add with a tick. If you want to go back, just press the back button, and now I can adjust. Using the up and down, you can adjust the hours. Long press will advance this, then you can shift to the minutes, and like so. Use the back button and you can go and adjust the hours again. So once you are happy, there's your time. It's already set with 9:04. Then press that and it is now being updated. And this will take a few seconds. It's come up with on. So now if I go back, it's now shown in this clock menu that that is on. So if I just go through, see I have nothing on at the moment, but I do have an alarm. Now I can go in and I can even add an alarm. There's the time, so I can go anywhere like so. So once I've set it at 2 o'clock, I can also have this with a repeat option if you wanted that to go on daily, weekdays, weekends, and you can even customize it as well. Let's have a little sneak in there, so you can choose which day of the weeks you'd like it to go off. You can also choose whether you want the sounds to have sound only or the vibration and so on. You can choose if you want the backlight. You also get an option to have a little label. These are just preset, you can't customize these, but I'm sure one of these will help you out. I like the bedtime one, very funny indeed. Or you can just delete it. So if I just came back out, it's now showing I have 2 alarms set. Now this is just one of the ways you can actually enter this, so I will cover this again. So what I mentioned before, I will sort of be repeating this. So if I didn't want that on, so I've got this alarm, it's on, I can turn it off, I can now just delete it if I want. But it's up to you. This is something that you really do need to play around with because it's very customizable, and you've seen it is very easy to use. Pressing back on clocks, going down to the next one is history. So let's have a little look in there. Now activities, this is going to show you all the activities you've done, and this includes sort of like the stopwatch. Even if you use the stopwatch and you save it, as long as you save the activity, it will end up here. If you don't save it and just delete it, then it won't appear. So here is some activities I've been getting on with, and you can see it is written with the day of the week and actual date as well and time. So here's one here. I've done just over 6 kilometers. So if I press select, I get a little overview here. It even includes a little map of where I was walking. You get a little arrow here just to show you that there is some more options. So by pressing the down button, I can look at all stats, I can look at laps, I can look at the map, elevation, and I can just delete it. So if I just wanted to have a quick look at maps, just press like select, and there is a map of the route. Now it does have some little indications here, and I will come back to this and show you how it all works. You've even got the elevation plot there. It's showing you everything you sort of really need to know, and even tells me that it's 55 meters of difference I've actually made. So coming back out of that, so that is the activities on the history. You also have records, which I probably won't cover. Then you have the totals. So here you can reset all these to how it is suited to you. Then you have some more options. This is good to know. You can actually delete all your activities and you can reset all your totals. Okay, next I'm going into the settings. Now this is again another new feature on the Fenix 6 series. Before you would just have settings and it would actually be written and you would have to open it. Now when you scroll down, it automatically just opens up the settings, and here you can have a look at your activities and app just as an example, and these are the ones that I've got customized for me. So I have Track Me, I have a map, I have Navigate, I have Walk, and I've got some other unique ones which I will go through very quickly. You can also just add one as well, so pressing select here you have a huge list. Again, this is all in my instruction manual showing you all the ones you can add. There is plenty to choose from. Then there is the widgets. You can customize the widgets straight from here. You have the controls and it goes on. Again, it's all in my instructions of how to do this. It's all written out exactly what is in here, and I've also done sort of sub menus so to explain what each category has, so it is easy for you to find. On my instructions menu number 8, this is the system, and this I thought is very useful to have. So long press on up, and here you can either scroll down, go to the settings, and it is the very last one on here. But what I found out, if you just long press on menu while you have it like that, you just press on up again and it takes you straight to systems. It sort of just skips it. And by pressing here, you have the language. You also have the time as well, so you can adjust it. Here you can have it on the 24-hour, you can have it on military or the 12-hour time zone or your setup. You can also just set the time if you want to do it auto or manual, and also you can set the alerts here. You can have alerts if you're a keen activity runner or jogger or athlete and you need to know when it is sunset and sunrise. And here you can also add the hourly signal if you need. So I thought that was quite sort of hidden within the watch. You also have the time sync possibility as well, so you can sync it with the GPS. You also have the backlight here. You can choose it during the activity or not during activity. And you can also choose the sounds here. You can have key tones. I'm not into the key tones as I found that quite annoying, but I will give you a little demonstration. So it will do like that every time you push a button. Maybe it's something you like. I prefer not to. Then you can have different variations of the tone if you want it in apps, if you want the vibration on, and if you want key vibe. Yeah, there you go. That's quite an unusual one. There is a do not disturb, which I will come back to. And here is hotkeys, which I will again cover. Then you have a lock. You can lock the watch. Yes, it's not with a code, but it's just with a button. It saves. It's more for your needs. Here we have the units, so you can adjust your kilometers to miles or kilometers. I know I'm from England and I like my kilometers, and some other ones as well, including the elevation. You can have meters and feet. depth as well, weight, height, temperature and pressure and so on. So this is good. Here is a format. Now I've got this in the instructions and you'll find this in the menu 21. I use the Google sort of coordinates a lot, the Google Maps, and it wasn't working at first, so I had to find a way of actually get this information in the watch. Now if you're not sure how it works, then this could be something a bit tricky, and so I have included it. So once you select format, here you go down, so you can have the day of the week as well, you can change it. Here you need to select position format, and from here you can change how you want the coordinates read or put in. And this one here, where I've got format, this I have it on this setting, and this is your standard setting that is used on Google Maps. And here you can really adjust it. Here, look, it's so many to choose from. Again, I have listed in the instructions just the very, very basic ones, but I know some of you actually ask about the MGRS. So yes, it is in this watch. So that I thought was very, very useful to have. So from format, you have this data recording smart. I've just left it on as it is. You have this USB mode, which I will come back to. Then you have your master reset. Then you have this software update. Now the updates can be done directly to the watch via Wi-Fi, or you can just do it through your app or your device. I've actually got it set for both and it sort of doesn't matter. And then you have about, which will tell you your software version and gives you loads of other information that can send you to sleep. Next, I want to cover menu 9 and 10, and this is the widget and control. This is all operated from the home screen, and here I've written exactly how to get in there from the home screen. So it's just a very short press on the up and down, and you will get a window straight away. Now, I'm just going to explain this part here with the glances on. So looking on the menu of 9 and 10 there, which I've just shown you, if you go to number 11 where it says widgets, this is how to make adjustments. I have put a option here of two of actually how to turn glances off. So it's just a long press on menu, you go to settings, and then you select the widget. So this is how it looks like. So if I just press on the up button, and you can use the down button also, so just a quick press, and here, as explained, this is now with glances on. So it's showing me the weather and some other features as well. Notice that the barometer there, the graph is being shown, temperature is being shown, and here you have the little sunset and sunrise graph. This is where we are. This is the daylight, and where it's blue, that is the night hours, and I say. I've even got the tide altimeters set on there, and here is the compass that is actually working within the widget. Now this is all very new to the Fenix 6 series, whereas on the 5X Plus I had, it just went straight into the main screen. So if I just picked one, say I use the compass and press select, then I have the full screen. So with glances off, by using the up and down, like I've mentioned, it would just go straight to the main screen like so. And then pressing back takes you like so. Now you do have at the very bottom here, it comes up with edit. I've got all this written in the instructions. Here you can just press, and here you can sort of customize where you want things to be positioned, or if you want to add. So if I said my day here, you see you have a little pencil icon there. If I press that, I now have two little arrows and it's now boxed, and I can move this using up or down, or I can press select and I can actually delete it off the watch. Now, it's not lost forever. It is just removed from the actual menu in here in your, well, this is sort of like your custom setting. So I can just position that anywhere I like. And when you're happy, you just press select and it comes back to this screen here. Now, I thought that was very cool indeed. And also just want to show you that you can do another. So if I say I went to, let's choose the altimeter. While you've got that selected, a long press on the up button there takes you to the altimeter options. And here I can press select and I could actually calibrate that. I can auto calibrate and I can also change the elevation of the meters. You also get some recorder widgets. So basically this means I can use up and down. So it's a bit like what the other one had. So let's just go back in there. Then you have the one where you can remove the widget, which is basically not deleting, it's just removing it. And here you can add a widget. And it's also got the settings all ready to go in there. So it's quite handy to have. So if I wanted to add a widget, I have sort of several options to do that. So if I went down to edit, I can just go from there. Quick place. You'll get used to how this sort of works. Instead of scrolling all the way down, you'll find that just by pushing up takes you straight to add. So you can either go from there or you can just pick on any widget, just press, long press, press up again, and it takes you to the system, which is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to add widget. There we go. And you can go from there. And then you can just pick whatever one you like from the list there. There it is. I have this all listed in the menu as well, so you can see exactly what you want to add in there. And then it's just a press of select. It's even got the plus button there, and there I've got my steps. Now if I wanted to remove this, I can just press long press there, and here it has remove widget, and it is now gone. From the home screen, it's just a long press on menu, then scroll down to the settings, goes automatically in there, and there is widgets, press select, and there it is, glances on. Then I can just press that and turn it off. So if I now do a long press back, because that's how I got it set, I will now have the widgets like so, showing a complete full screen. Now, is that something you prefer, or do you like how I've got it set up? So let me just go back and show you that you can repeat this. Now, this does get easier with playing around with the watch of how you navigate, and I really do like that side. So now if I press the widget button, I get that. And I'm sort of finding that I'm not having to sort of open up the widget. I think this is enough information for me. It's telling me the air pressure, and it's also giving me that little bit of information with the graph. Now if I open it up, yes, of course it opens it up a little bit bigger. The only sort of big difference, I suppose, if you were to hit temperature, this would give you a bigger graph and it will show you over the last 4 hours, whereas here it's just showing you that. Whereas on the sunrise, sunset, I'm finding this is enough for me. But if you want that twilight saving shown, then yeah, okay, you need to open it up. So, which one do you prefer? It doesn't really matter because it's so easy to swap between, and you can have either or. So from the widget side, I'm going to go into control. But before I go too far, you're probably wondering what is the difference? Well, let me sort of explain. A widget is a little bit like a third-party sort of app. You sort of add in, sort of customizing it. I mean, really, in a watch, you're not really going to have sort of like the sort of features like weather and things like this. Whereas on control, this is more sort of focused into the actual watch. This is whether it's connecting or whether it's a stopwatch, timer, alarm, world time, and things like that. So let's just get on with it and show you what the control side is like. Again, I've got all the information you need to know how to get in there. From home screen, you need to press the light button. Now, it's not a short press, it is a long press. And there it is. And it's like a carousel. You use the up and down to go through. Now, ignore exactly everything I have on here because I have customized it. But one that you will have on there and you can't remove is the power off. So if you want to turn your watch off, select that and it will power off. How about the backlight? I've got this added, pressing select, and I can use the up and down to control that side. I think that's very cool. Now, there is two ways of actually customizing this, and I'm going to show you both of them. So if you're already in control, it doesn't matter which one you've got selected. If you press the up button with a long press, you will have add control here. And here, pressing select, I can select another. Now you do get quite a few to select, all the ones you need. How about lock and unlock? So if I press that, it comes up. Now that has been added. So when I come back out, I'm now looking for something a bit different. And how about there it is, lock keys. So I can just press select and then my watch is locked. Now if I wanted to get rid of that, I can just select where I've got it highlighted, pressing up, long press, and here I can add controls. Here I can actually move that control. Here, there you see it. I can now select it and then it shows it's got two little arrows either side and I can move that around like so. Pressing select will land it in that position. Now if I go back and I go to remove controls, it will now have this little box here with a little cross on there. Very easy to use. So now I can just use the up and down and select that lock key, press start, and it's now gone. Then pressing back takes me back here. So very easy to do. Now if you wanted to do this not through there, you wanted to go through the system, long press while in the home screen to menu, go down to settings, and here you have the controls. And then when you open that, you can see I have all these are the controls that I've actually got added. So if I wanted, say, time and sync removed, if I press that, I can now move that. I can remove it. So if I wanted to move it around, it goes back here like so. Very easy. Do I want to save changes? Let's say no, because I can't remember where I put it. Or you can just remove it. So there is the second option. I'm just going to cover a couple of little things with regards to the sort of control. So if I just press the long press from the home screen and I've got the power off, say I wanted the stopwatch. So next time I open it, it will be ready to go. So when you come back out, next time you enter the control, it's going to be straight there on stopwatch. I thought it's a little tip I'll sort of add. Now there is a feature that's added on the 6 series, and this is to do with the battery saver mode. Now this is running on everything is open, the GPS and all the connection of Bluetooth and so on. And here at the moment it stands, I have 8 days of battery. Now I do have the option now, if I press this, I have the option of 28 days. Now it has turned off a lot of things. It's turned off the backlight now. So now I actually do have to press the backlight if I want the light on. It will go off a lot quicker. My home screen on the time has changed. It's gone very basic. And you will lose a lot of the features like the Wi-Fi, the GPS, and the Bluetooth connectivity. It's all turned off to preserve battery. So I go back in there. As you can see, it's where I left it off, and now I can turn that on. Now that is a new feature. Now I want to show you a little bit more as well. And again, this is something that you really do need to play around with. So let's go into the menu, go down to the settings, and here I'm looking for one that actually does say with the battery. Should be here. There it is. It's called the Power Manager. So if I open this, I now have a battery saver. I have the power modes, and there is the battery percentage. If you weren't sure, you can now have the option of turning that on and off if you like. Now I'm still sort of playing around with this, so this is something that maybe you need to sort of get into if you're really worried about the battery sort of performance. For me, I'm not bothered. I'm always going to have a power source, and I've got many power packs with me. So here I've got the 8 days, and I can just turn that on and off. You can also have the options where you can edit things. So here I've got the watch face, it's on low power. Music, I have it turned off, and so on. You can see you can customize that. So if you wanted, you can just have the Bluetooth on if you wanted to. So I'll just come back here. Then you have the power modes. Now I'm going to quickly come back to this a little bit later, but just to show you what I've got set up. Now on the maximum battery, I've got everything turned on. It's even telling me what the GPS. I've got Galileo written on. This one is called jacket mode. Now this one was already preset. I'm just going to ignore that. So how I've done it, I've gone maximum battery, I've gone medium battery, and I've got low power. And at the bottom you can actually add your own. So on a low power, what do I have? I have the GPS turned on to the actual minimum of ultra track, and I've turned everything else off. And let's have a quick look at medium. Now here I've just got the GPS on normal, and here I haven't changed anything on the phone, so it's still going to connect with that. The heart rate is all now turned off, and there you go. So you do have some little options there which you can choose, and I'm going to come back to this with these power modes, because these are the things you can change actually in your activities separately. Now into one of the most important features, navigation. So looking at menu 13, I'm going to give you a little example of Track Me and what it can do and all the sort of adjustments you can add to it. I'm also going to include some little extra tips which aren't on the instructions, but you will be able to follow in the video without an issue. In home screen, I'm going to press select and start, just a short press, and it will enter the navigation. Now in here I've actually customized it, so yours is going to be totally different, but I'm just going to show you quickly what I've got in order. So first one is Track Me. I'm using the down button. Then I have Map, I have Navigate, I've got Walk, I've got an unusual one here called Sat Nav, which is customized, and I've got Track Nav. I've also got a third-party app, which is basically just to tell me where I am, and I have a new app that I've just downloaded that I'm not sure how it works at the moment, so I won't be covering that. And then you have Add. So if I press Select, you can just get an idea of what is actually in here. So there is hike, kayaking, and it just goes on. Some treadmill. And I've got this all listed in my instruction manual, so you can actually glance at it in your own time. So I'm just going to come back out of that. I'm just going to press the back button going down, and this is the Track Me that I need to open. So I'm just going to show you. Right, at the moment you're seeing a data screen. Now it has options where you can change the data screen. So in my particular sort of setting, I've got this custom screen, which is just showing you the timer and distance, and you get a little bar on the side there just to show you where you are. So I've got 3 sets. So the second one is Map, and then pressing again, it's now giving me an altimeter. It keeps coming up telling me that I do have some options. So if I pressed the start stop, it will now start the track me. So I could just go off for a walk or a run and it would just follow me and give me all the information on the sort of data screens. Now from here, if I press the up button, I now have the options sort of to go into the track me settings. Now it also has the power mode. So for an example, if I do have a low battery, I can select this and then take it off one of the settings I've got already programmed. So if it is quite a low battery, maybe I select medium or the low power. And of course, if I select low power, I will have the ultra track set on the GPS side. So if I go into track me settings, now there is another way of actually getting into this, and I'll show you in a moment. So if I select that, there is the data screens. So I'm just going to select that. And here I can customize the data screen. So I can add more information. I can put less detail in the maps. And here it's come up with a little pencil or a little pen. So I can actually just customize it. I can also add some extra screens. So just for an example, this one, I want to edit that. I can have the layout, you can see, and it tells me what's in the field 1 and field 2. And now I can also adjust it so the data screens can all be randomly put where you like, or you can just remove it and start over. So if I went into the layout fields, I can sort of have up to 3. There's up to a single one there, there's 3 there. There's 4, 5. I believe this one can go up to 6 data fields. And I believe that is the one. So that, and then it goes back to the single one. If you don't select anything, and just by pressing back, it will keep it where it is. Or you'll get a little prompt here. No, I don't want to save any changes. So you've got a little bit of an idea of what's happening there. So I just come back out. Now if I just press start now, it will start the timer, and obviously if I start walking or running, it will give me my sort of distance, and it'll also track me on the map, and it will show me what direction, and it'll also draw the route on there, and also give me the altimeter side of that. Now I'm going to be doing another video all about the navigation side, because I want to do all like the track back and things like this, and actually show you exactly what is happening while you're on one of your navigations. So to stop this, I'm just going to press that. Then it comes up with a little bit of an option. You can either resume, you can save, you can resume later. You could take a lap if you wanted to, and the lap is basically just to mark a little point, maybe you had a little rest, or you can go back to start. Now I'm just going to delete this by doing so, and you can see sort of how easy that was to navigate. So with a long press on up from this screen, I now can enter it in a different way. So there's my track me settings. So I just want to go back into that and show you. I've done the data screens. You can also set some alerts if you want to be alerted about altimeter. Maybe you want to do something on your heart, or yeah, there's quite a lot of options. Then we got the power mode is there. You have this option. You also have the option to configure your map and sort of have it the way you like it, the detail. Maybe you want to change some coloring. Auto zoom, this is particularly useful on navigation. When you come to a junction, the map automatically zooms into where you are going to make a turn. Could be quite tricky. Lock on road, this is useful if you want to just stick to the roads, and so on. It has some other little details is there. Then you have this one here, it's called routing. This is set on running and walking, because I only plan to do track me through this. So if we have a quick little look in there, you can see what options you could actually choose. Look, you've got ATV off-road as well. You can even drive with the car or truck. You've got motorcycle, road cycling, and sort of different sort of styles of mountain biking and road racing, I guess. So I've got this selected on that one. And then there's some other little features as well. And I'd like to cover this one. This is very important indeed. I found this was so important that I've actually given it its own menu of 25. And basically what happens when you're in navigation and you start the navigation and you are not moving, you'll have a pause icon come up. Now, the reason why is basically the watch is sort of conserving its battery, so it will stop the GPS. And then once you start walking, it will detect that motion and then start it. Thing is, it vibrates, it beeps, it has this little pause icon and is very annoying indeed. So, well, that's for me anyway. So here I've actually listed of actually how to do this. And so going back to the watch, so pressing select start, I have mine on off. You can also choose when stopped, which it is, I think it is, comes as a standard setting when stopped, or you can customize it. So basically if you fall down a certain amount of kilometers per hour or miles per hour, and then it will give you a little beep and put it into pause. So basically you need to get your steps going. So this is an option that you need to sort of experience, but for me, I found it quite annoying. But hey, I'm not you. So continuing down from this menu, you do have some other options. Now I haven't sort of gone into any of these. This is something maybe you need to sort of explore yourself. Now I do have everything in the instructions that I've written to explain what all these mean. Now there is an interesting one here. There is the GPS. By selecting that, here you can manually adjust. So you could just have the GPS off, or you can just have it on the GPS. You can have GLONASS. I think the GLONASS is more for the USA, and here in Europe it's Galileo. And there you can select the Ultra Track if you really want that extra GPS. And then you have some other little sort of features as well. And of course you can rename it. Okay, going back from rename it, I just want to show you that from here you can copy the activity. Now this is what I've basically done on this one here. I've actually got two. Now I've got SatNav, which is basically copy and navigate, and then I've got TrackNav, which is all for to do with when I'm in the car. So if I just select this with a long press on up, I can actually go through the settings here. So I've got different data screens. I've got very basic data screens. I'm just going to show you. There's a time and distance and just a map. That's all I want to be shown on there. Power mode is going to be absolutely on the maximum. Now this is the routing, just to show that I have this set on automobile, bio should I say, so it's basically car or truck. So you can actually really customize this to what it suits you, and of course you can rename this. So you just copy it, set it up to exactly what you need, so you can just keep adding what is good for you. Another important sort of feature that I thought was handy to know is on menu number 15 is how to actually set a new navigation course manually. So this is basically using coordinates. Now this does use the Garmin Connect, and it also uses another one which I will come back to, where you can actually write your own route in an app. If you don't have a device with you and you just have the coordinates, then this is really useful to know. It is kind of sort of time consuming and does sort of feel a bit dated, but you can do it. So if you're following all these instructions, then maybe I should just take you through it quickly now, so you can correspond to these manual that I've written and to the watch, so you can really get to understand it. Now I'm going to go to navigate because it's all about navigation. So let's select that. And then I can go down. You see that had points of interest. Now here it's got courses. At the moment I have one in there all pre-written, but I've done that through the app. I now want to set one using some coordinates, and there we have coordinates. Press that, and here you can just enter away. So just by pressing select, you move in the sort of marker or the cursor over, so you can go all the way through. And if you want to go back, you can just press back at any time and it will just do it like so. So hopefully you're following that. So if you want to adjust a number, then it's just a matter of using up and down. So you have to go all the way through till it selects done. So what I do, I press done, and then you have this here. So if I press back now, I haven't started the navigation, and I go back, and now I open navigation again. Like I said, this is quite time consuming, so hopefully you don't have to do this. Now if I go into saved locations, my coordinate will be there. So as an example, which I've written on here, I've actually named them Park, and I've got Park and I've got Park 2. So if you maybe just have a little read of that, sort of to familiarize yourself and however you pronounce it. So I can actually go to that coordinate now, I can get some details, I can look at it on the map, but here I need to rename it. So this is what the screen looks like. It's very sort of basic. You're navigating with the up and down. First off, I need to select this marker here to actually delete all of that right back to 0. And it would always start off on capitals. Now you can scroll down by just holding it. And remember, I'm doing this all behind the viewfinder. So if I select this, I need to write in Park. And let's get this set up, and so I'm going to fast forward it. So once you've got it all written out, we go to the tick, and now that is saved. You can also give it a little icon if you wish. I can use outdoors, civilizations, signs, and hunting, or I just use a marker. So how about I start that as a green marker? How about just a square? So now when I come back out, it is already set there as Park. So if I wanted to now sort of build up a course, if I sort of wanted to pick sort of 3 sort of locations, then what I need to do is go back to coordinates, then enter my coordinate. Just going to modify one of these numbers just to make it look a bit odd. A difference, should I say. Now, if you don't rename the coordinate, it's written in the manual, it won't save it as a second coordinate. So you have to rename it for you to be able to start building up a little list. So now I pressed done. Now I come back out of there. So it's pretty much repeating what I've just done at the beginning. I hope you're sort of keeping up. There's saved location. So now when I press this, I've got Park, and there is my coordinate. Now if I went back out and tried to save another coordinate, it would just rewrite over this one. So you have to go into this one and rename it. So I'm just going to now list up 3 and show you what happens. Now I want to put Park 2. There is a little space icon here, so pressing that, and then I can go up and select the numbers. Now you do have sort of options. You can actually put characters in there as well, and now the numbers change, and there we have it. So it's very easy, very easy indeed. So I really don't need to go into too much of that. So that is my second one. I'm now going to set up the third one, and then we'll continue from there. Okay, the last one is in Park 3, so just going to save that. I'm going to give it an icon, I'm going to give the marker, and I'm going to give it the red one, I think, because that would be like stop. And now if I come back out there, you can see I've got Park 3 is red, Park 2 is blue, and Park, well, just Park on its own as green. So now coming out, I'm going to now go to courses. Now this is very long-winded, but as I say, if you don't have a device and you only have the coordinates, then this could be your only option. And again, this is all from the watch. It doesn't need anything else. So I'm going to select courses, and I'm going to create a course. Now I've got course 1, maybe I just call it, or course 2, sorry, looking behind the viewfinder. So I'm just going to save that. Now I can add a location. I can use my current location. I can use my saved locations. So have a look in there. So there is the first one. So there's park, add location. Now you can see what's going on here. I'm going to use park 2, add location. So hopefully you're keeping up here, and then it's park 3 like so. And you can adjust these so they can be put in to another sort of, you can have details. You can also move it around. This is what I meant to say. So you can actually move it. So if you want park 3 up the top there, or park 2 at the last, or whatever. So you just press that and that's done. You can also just look at the details. You can rename it and so on. So now I have all that listed, and I come back out. Do I save changes? Yes. And now that's all loaded. So I can do course, or I can do it later. It doesn't matter. So if I come back out, now I go through the menu, and you go to courses. You're ready to start it. There's your course 2. Just press that. You can have a quick look at the map. Now, not sure what it's going to look like. It's something like this. You come back out, and then you can just go straight there and start the course. It is as easy as that. Well, say it easy. It is as long as that. The course is started. So let's start it and see what sort of menus I have. Look at that. So I have all my details there, and also have the sort of altimeter there telling me that there's a little dip there. So along the way, it's 5.53 kilometers total. And so there's some really good information. Also get a bearing compass and some other things. Again, I'm going to cover this all in a separate video because it's far too much to sort of cover in this one. Now, if you don't want to do all the coordinates manually into the watch, then you want to do the lazy way like I do and use this app here. There is also an alternative that you can actually use Garmin Connect that is on your PC or laptop, and use that option. Now for me personally, I find that a little bit tricky. I actually like doing it all with my finger, so Garmin Explore is the one I choose every time. And here under menu 16, you'll find out exactly to download. And then I've got some important information that you need to download the maps as well. And this is all free. You don't have to pay for any of it. So what I'm going to do is actually show you how to create a route. If you've got this all ready to go and downloaded, I'm going to show you straight through the watch and show you through all the Garmin Explore as well. So you really do follow this nice and clear. So what I'm going to do is open up the Explore, and when you open it up, you're going to have some registration. So you need to put all your Garmin Connect details in there because it's all very linked. And you can see I'm a very keen user of this, and this is all my sort of what do you call it? Is it called a footprint of all the places I've been to? So very easy how to set this up, how to make a route and put this into your Fenix. You go up to the top here and press on the plus icon. You have two options. You can add waypoints and you add route. Add waypoints is also in the manual that I've written if you want to have those added. So add route, and here it will come up with a new window, and you can just scroll around anywhere you fancy. So if I just chose somewhere like here, it's very random, and I want to start here. This is my point I want to start. So I press there, and then you can just press like so. So if there's a little bend in the road, it actually adjusts itself. But here I've made a mistake because I'm behind the viewfinder. No problem, because if I hold on to that, I get a little map at the top there, a little sort of like a magnifying lens on the top left there, and then I can put it exactly where I want it. I can also go down like so. And if I want to press edit, I can actually make it even more interesting. You can do like a little point in the middle and actually stretch it around like so. Very, very cool indeed. You sort of just need to play around with it. You can also just delete the option, well, or your route you just done by tapping it and then press create. So you basically just work it like this any way you like. You don't need to actually have a goal back to the beginning, but yeah, that's how I do it. So once you've got it all set up like this, you need to press save, of course. So you press save and then you'll have a screen like this. All this is in the manual as you're reading it, I hope. Here you can give it a new name. So here I'm just going to call it Watch Up 69. It's all ready to go. And then you just press the return on the keyboard and that is saved. Then you go back to the map here, or you can just select the options down the bottom here. And the next one I need is library. So you have a screen like this. Here you have new collection. So I'm just going to press that and I'm going to call that Whoop 69 as well. Might not have it exact how it is on the manual I've written, but you'll be able to follow it, I'm sure. And then press OK. And there is my new collection. Now what you could do, you could just keep adding waypoints and routes and add it on the way. So if I open that, and at the very bottom it has add, so I press add, then you have this little bit here which I've just explained. If I go to routes, it should have the one with Watch Up or Whoop 69. So I press that and then it's add at the top here, and that collection is now being added. So if I go back out, go back into my library, and there it's added it. So now I need to transfer that to the watch. So if I go to devices, there is the device I've got, these the 6. So I'm just going to open that up, and then you'll have this window here. Again, I'm all on the instructions. There it is. I'm just going to lock that in. Comes up with a padlock, and at the very top you have the sync icon. So as soon as you press that, it will now start syncing with the watch. And here, for entertainment reasons, you can watch it all go through, and it's already done. So let's see what it looks like on the watch. In home screen, I'm going to press start and select, enter the navigation. I'm going to go to navigate, and here I need to select courses, and there it is, Whoop 69. So let's have a look at the map, and this is what I want to compare. Looks pretty perfect to me. Also, I just want to point out a few little details here on the map. You have a plus and minus icon. Here you can zoom in and out. Also have 3 little options here as well. So by pressing select, I can go up and down. You get a little crosshair, like so. You can do it very fine. You can just hold your finger down, pressing again. Yes, you have the left and right. And if I press for the last time, it goes back to the zoom. So I'm just going to come back out of there. So what other options do you have? You can do the course in reverse. It can also show you the elevation as well. This is really cool to know how sort of what steep hills you have to come across on your route. It's also giving you the total sort of distance there. You can also rename it. You can also edit more, sort of if you have saved locations, you want to add more things in, and of course you can just delete it. Next I want to cover menu 17 on my instructions, and this is the activities side. Into the menu, I want to go to history, and there is my activities. Now I do use this quite a lot, so I've got all my walks in there. So let me just show you what it looks like if I say added the one that I've just created. So if I went to navigate and I went to courses and I chose that one, and let's just do it and pretend that we've done this course. Now I'm going to press start, and then I press stop. I'm going to come up with a little option, and what I'm going to do is just save that. So once that's saved, you get a little bit of information like this, but you can also be able to see this from your history as well, from the activity. So if I just long press on that, hit the menu, I go to history, there's my activities, and there is the one I've just stopped. Now, because I haven't walked it or done anything, it hasn't drawn a map and it hasn't given me enough information. So what I can do is actually show you one I've done the other day. So here it is. You get your time, you get a little map here. You also have the all stats, so it tells you all the sort of average speed and your calories and so on. I can have a look at the map, and on the map again you get your sort of your zoom, and you can also sort of pan around as well, and you can look at your elevation. It's all there. It's everything you sort of really need, and of course you can delete it from here. Now I just want to show you one other one as well. Just go back. I'm just going to go into my control here. I'm going to start the stopwatch, and I'm going to press stop. I'm going to have a look at the options here, and here I can save the activity. Then I come back out, go back into the menu. I'm going to look at the history, activities, and there it is. I've got the stopwatch saved as well. So that is really cool to have a really good overview of all your activities in one place. Next is menu 18, and this is useful adjustments to know out of the box. Now this is just like a handful, but I think it's sort of one of the most important ones, especially from power on. And how about force power off? You never know, you might need to actually shut it down. It might just stall or something. So it's good to know that on a long press on the light button for 10 seconds will force the shutdown, and some other sort of useful informations there. So next I want to cover the hotkeys. I think this is a really super cool feature, and again I've got it all listed exactly what hotkeys can actually do for you. Hotkeys is basically from the home screen a quick way to sort of enter a feature you want. Say you want a, I don't know, if you need the clock or stopwatch or something very quick, it's just a long press or maybe a couple of buttons. Anyway, let's have a look at the options. So let's go into the menu, long press. Now I could scroll all the way through. I'm after systems, but if from here you just press again, and there it's there, sitting there. I'm just repeating myself now. So going down to hotkeys, this is what I need. So I'll just have a quick look and hold start. So that'll be a long press. I've got nothing at the moment. Hold back is your watch face. Now this is factory set, and this is what I explained earlier, but you can adjust it all. So you have some other little options there. Some I've got none. I've got the backlight, the back button, and the light button working as a lock as well. So let's have a look at the holding down the start button. From there, just press select, and I'm going to choose, you see you've got the alarm clock. I'm going to choose one called flashlight. Let's have that. So let's exit that. And now with a long press of start, I get a completely blank screen set at the maximum brightness. Now I can't accidentally turn this off unless I hit the back button, but it's very handy to have. And like I said, with the back and the light, if I press these together, I now have it so it is locked, and if I press again, it's unlocking. So very useful to have this feature. Just scrolling through some of the other menus I've done. Menu 20 is man overboard, sort of explaining how that works, particularly if you do have a boat. But you probably could use that for other sort of reasons, like for myself, if I want to quickly mark a location and I want to get back there sort of without the fuss and going through setting up all the navigation. You're going to have a very simple sort of bearing point that's always going to point you back to where you started that. Done the coordinates format, it's very important. Here under menu 22 is the sleep timer. If you want the watch to go to sleep at a certain time of the day, I've got it all here, all ready for you to just follow. I've got some things here you need to sort of understand the terminology, what ETE means and ETA and so on. Done the pause. Sight and go is quite an interesting one. This is something like on a bearing compass. You just set your coordinate or the direction you're facing in and start it, and you will have the bearing compass. Now I don't need to really go through this with this tutorial, but maybe I do that more in the navigation. The next one I want to cover, which I don't think is covered properly, is number 27, the screenshot. The first thing you need to do is set up the hotkeys for the screenshot. So it's just entering the menu, going into system and selecting the hotkeys. So where are they? There they are. Let's open that. And I know at the very bottom I've got back and the up button. So when these both press together, it will take a screenshot. And you can take this pretty much of everything you have on the watch or whatever the display is showing. So from here, if I just press those two, you'll have a screen like this shown. Now you won't be able to see the pictures or the screenshot in the watch. This has to be transferred to your laptop or your PC. So Garmin, if you're listening, could you do a little update so that we're able to see the screenshots on the watch? I think that's where we need it the most. Anyway, let's get back to menu 27 and I shall show you what you need to do. Next, if you are a Mac user, you're going to need the Android file transfer app. And here I've put the link in. So you can just click on that and you will have a little screen like this where it's prompting you to download. And yes, it is a secure site. And you're familiar with this, so you grab the file transfer from Android and you put it into your applications folder. Next, you need to make sure that Garmin Express is completely shut down before you go any further. As I only use a Mac on a Windows, this can be completely different, and I should imagine that it's easier, so you can just plug it in and it will just transfer it no problem. When you plug in the USB cable into your Garmin and straight into your PC and laptop, on the watch you'll have this display here. Now this is if you have it set on the Garmin, and then you have the option whether you want to transfer files or you just press no and the watch will just charge from the USB port. Once connected and you press yes, then you'll get a window like this appear. Now, if it doesn't, then you have to look in your toolbar for this little character here and give him a little nudge, and then you'll have this window. Then you have all the files down the side there. So what you do, you scroll down, literally like this, and you're after this one here, screenshot. Yes, a bit of a spelling mistake, but hey, it is understandable. And so from there, you click on that, and then you have your BMP files, which are all the screenshots that you've taken on your Fenix. And from here you can drag and put them anywhere you like. They go into the gallery. I just put them onto the desktop. You'll also need, if you need to delete them, you highlight all what you need to get rid of. A little box comes up and then you press delete. Otherwise it will stay on the Fenix. So all the images you see on the instruction manual like this is all from this screenshot. So I've just transferred it and put it into the manual to make it really easy for you guys to really understand this kind of sort of complicated watch, but really over a short amount of time you actually become very, very native to it. From the screenshot menu, scrolling down, I have the activities and app settings and the meanings, like I explained in the beginning. And that is my instruction manual complete. Now, it is just an out-of-the-box sort of instruction manual. And there is some big features like the sort of activity on your health side that I'm not going to really cover. What I want to cover is the navigation more, so I will be doing a separate video of that. So thanks again watcho.co.uk for another fantastic service and for supplying an incredible Fenix 6 Pro. I am absolutely in love with this piece, and yeah, I'm sort of abandoning my G-Shocks at the moment, but this thing is an absolute, it's just incredible. I just don't know how to sort of express it, but if you've already got the 5X Plus or those sort of models, then just stay with what you've got because they are still fantastic watches. But if you're in the market, definitely for a 6 and the Pro, I just like this size, and of course I like the display. Now this is the Gorilla Glass version, and I have heard that the Sapphire version has a slightly darker tint. It's very, very fractional. Now I don't know what the AR coating is like on the Sapphire, but with this one the AR coating is incredible. It is a vast improvement over the 5X Plus. Anyway, that is my full tutorial on out-of-the-box instructions with my own instructions. And if you're feeling generous and you want to say a huge thank you and give the channel a little bit of a support, then any donation is very welcome indeed. As always, that is the Watch Up 69 time. Thanks for watching.